We're now joined with Billy Ebel, current assistant coach for the Lipscomb women's volleyball team and a former standout for the Ball State men's volleyball team. Now, Billy made the transition going from on the court to on the sidelines. What has that adjustment been like for you since graduating from Ball State back in 2010?
I think the biggest adjustment that I've had is when the things aren't in my control. I think going from the court to the office and I'm preparing the girls for the matches, instead of as a player, I was ready to play and my focus was on, a certain attacker. But now it's more of a team aspect and I'm focused more on the team and trying to get the girls prepared and then letting them kind of execute the scouting report.
Now, you guys had a tough loss today against Kentucky, but one of the interesting storylines of this match was you're actually coaching against one of your former teammates, Andrew Nelson. What is that like for you to be going up against the guy who you were playing with a couple of years ago?
Well, it's funny, me and Anders were texting back and forth the other day, and I think the most exciting part about it is the fact that we were teammates and we were so close. We were roommates in college, and then now we were competing against each other. But then we also spent 2 years coaching at Burris together during the Steve Shondell reign. So we kind of had all three, and it was awesome to finally play against him and coach against him. And he's also done a great job at Kentucky, and when he was at Arkansas, he did an awesome job as well.
Yeah, and talking about Steve Shondell, obviously you had a great opportunity to coach with him over at Burris, had an opportunity to play for Coach Joe Walton. What have you learned from those coaches and applied to your coaching philosophy?
When I spent time at Burris with Steve, I learned patience, and patience with technique and breaking things down. And with Joel, he really taught us how to, execute a scouting report and really learn how to get the community involved into the sport. And that's exactly what Ball State did, was kind of bring us in and make us student athletes into coaches, because we were going out and we were watching these high school matches and coaching locally in the club in Munciana with Mike. So I thought we got a good sense of what volleyball was about, especially from Ball State. And I think that's why we see so many Ball State coaches.
Yeah. Now, obviously there's a big difference between the men's game and the women's game. What's been the biggest adjustment for you?
Well, I actually enjoy coaching girls more than I coach guys, because girls actually listen at times. But I love the technique. I love breaking down defensive skills, especially because that's what I did in college. I love the way that the girls really want to engage in information, and instead of like guys who say, hey, just go hit the ball as hard as you can and find that shot, it's more of, hey, these are the shots you have, these are the shots you can use. And the broken down, the technique is a lot more skilled, which I really enjoy.
And final question for you, Billy. What advice would you give a current college player who might be wanting to go into the coaching ranks after they're done graduating and playing?
The biggest advice was network. Meet people, get out there and, get to know people, coach as much as you can. I spend a lot of time coaching at the Munciana facility and coaching at the Burris facility, and, just being able to surround myself with great coaches. And spending time with Christy Posey at UMKC, who's been in the game a lot. I mean, I've really got fortunate to be around those great coaches. So I think just get out there and network and try to coach as many teams as you can, and I think that's the best advice I can give.